Now, because CBT is such a highly logical and goal-oriented process, we're going to follow their exact chronological map today. We'll hit the CBT framework, catching automatic thoughts, uncovering core beliefs, the problem-solving phase, and finally, designing behavioral experiments.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the CBT framework, changing the cycle. So, the crucial point here is that CBT doesn't just aim to make you feel better in the fleeting moment, right? It's actually a highly structured intervention designed to actively change three totally interconnected elements of our daily lives: our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. Dr. Ho sets the stage beautifully. The whole philosophy is that if you can intervene and change the pattern of your thoughts, well, you'll inherently change your emotional response, which then completely transforms how you behave out in the real world. It's a continuous loop. Basically, CBT is the specific tool we use to break a negative cycle and intentionally build a positive one. Moving right along to Section 2, catching automatic thoughts. This is the very first critical milestone. In the MedCircle session, right around the 3:39 mark, we see Dr. Ho and Kyle really begin their exploration by identifying what therapists call an automatic thought. And these are exactly what they sound like: immediate, reflexive thoughts that just pop into our heads in response to a trigger. You don't invite them, they simply arrive on their own. It might be a sudden thought like, I'm going to fail, or they definitely don't like me. Catching these surface-level, knee-jerk reactions is absolutely crucial. It's the necessary first step in the therapeutic process because, honestly, you simply cannot fix what you don't first observe. Which brings us to Section 3, uncovering core beliefs. This is where we shift from the surface to the hidden depths. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it reveals the true engine driving all those surface-level thoughts we just talked about. Around the 7:19 mark of the live session, Dr. Ho guides Kyle down to the core belief. A core belief is deeply rooted. It's a foundational belief about ourselves or the world that actually triggers that automatic thought in the first place. I mean, think of it this way. If your automatic thought is the smoke, your core belief is the fire. This brilliantly illustrates the layers of the human mind. On one side, we have our automatic thoughts, those surface-level reflexive reactions. And on the other, we have our core beliefs, the deep-rooted foundational triggers. This dynamic shows exactly why therapists like Dr. Ho literally have to dig past the immediate reaction. If you only ever treat the automatic thought, well, the core belief remains entirely untouched, and it's just going to keep generating new negative thoughts day after day. You absolutely have to get to the root of the operating system to make any kind of lasting, meaningful change. So let's just pause for a second and look at the scaffolding we've built so far. First step, we identify the automatic thought. Next, we uncover the core belief beneath it. That leads directly into the problem-solving phase. And it all culminates in creating an individualized behavioral experiment. This clear, incredibly logical structure is exactly what makes cognitive behavioral therapy so highly effective. Okay, on to Section 4, the problem-solving phase. This is where we pivot from diagnosing the issue to actively treating it. So what does this all mean? How do we actually change these core beliefs? It's one thing to recognize that you have a deep-rooted, unhelpful belief about yourself, but it's an entirely different beast to actually rewire it. Think about it for a second. How would you even begin to dismantle a belief you've held about yourself for years, or maybe even decades? This is the absolute pivot point of our explainer today, shifting our focus entirely toward actionable solutions. In the MedCircle session, exactly at the 12:26 mark, we witnessed this crucial pivot from discovery to active problem solving. This moment proves that cognitive behavioral therapy is definitely not just passive talking. You don't just sit on a couch and vent into the void. Nope. It is an active, highly structured effort to dismantle those unhelpful core beliefs. We see Dr. Ho actively partnering with Kyle to challenge his beliefs with evidence, applying logic and engaging in active cognitive restructuring. It builds some really incredible momentum. Finally, Section 5, designing behavioral experiments, the fourth and final milestone of the live session. Let's move to and see how this builds into real-world application. The problem-solving phase is all about forming the mental strategy in the therapy room, but that is immediately followed by the ultimate action step, creating an individualized behavioral experiment. Right around the 13:02 mark, Dr. Ho helps Kyle translate their strategy into concrete homework. A behavioral experiment is a specific, testable action you take out in the real world to basically prove to your own brain that your negative core belief is actually false. It takes the whole shebang completely out of the clinic and puts it to the test in your daily life. And honestly, that is the true power of CBT. It gives you the practical tools to take charge of your mental wellness journey, which is an empowering mandate shared by the entire MedCircle community. By understanding your automatic thoughts, digging down to your core beliefs, actively problem solving, and then testing those beliefs out in the real world, you can literally rewire how you experience life. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Based on the automatic thoughts you've caught yourself having recently, what is one behavioral experiment you could run today to challenge them? Think about it and go take that first step.